Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. First, I just want to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I hope that your new year is starting off well. And for those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. For those of you who tune in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, welcome back. It's a new year. I've seen so many things, and thanks for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here on Mental Health Moment with you today. I've seen so many things on social media, and I'm sure you have too, about new year and new you and all these different things, right? So again, I hope that you have hopefully caught some of the last mental health moments where we've talked about moving into this new year powerfully. And especially, and hi, thanks for joining, and especially thinking about your self-care goals and your wellness goals, and really being a better version of yourself, which is what Mental Health Moment is all about. But today, as you all know, and hi, thanks for those who are still starting to join here. And as you all know, this is the first Tuesday of the month. For those of you who tune in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this Tuesday, because it's the first Tuesday of the month, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about children's mental health. And thanks for those who are continuing to join here. As you all see, well, I'm in a car, not driving, but I am traveling once again with this new year here. So bear with me in the car, but I know many of you already know. I will do Mental Health Moment as long as I am not stuck and delayed on an airplane. And actually, speaking of which, I caught my flight today, my connection flight, with like 5 minutes to spare. And in my head, I was like, I gotta make Mental Health Moment on time. So God was good. I made the flight today, the connection flight. So obviously I'm here with you. But welcome for those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. So what I want to tell you all about children's mental health, and some of you may have already heard, it's very sad news for me as a psychologist and a mom and a professional and a human being to hear these things, but children, a lot of children are not doing well. The pandemic has had very long lasting results for a lot of kids when it comes to mental health. It's led to a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, suicidal thoughts, bullying. The cyberbullying was terrible, you all. I mean, it was really terrible, with all the virtual schooling and whatnot that was going on in 2020 and 2021, unfortunately, because people are hurting, families are hurting, kids are hurting too, and teens are hurting as well. So I share these things with you because one of the things I want you to think about, and hi, thanks for those who are still starting to join here. One of the things I want you to think about is really thinking about whether it's your own biological child, your stepchild, foster child, godchild, friend of a, friend who has a child, whomever it is in your life. I really want you to think about how you can show these kids compassion and kindness, because and connection, because these are the things, they're little things, but they're starts to making sure that children are going on the right path when it comes to their mental health. They're not cures. They're not. What I can tell you though, as being in the field of mental health and seeing a lot of different kids, is they crave connection with someone. It doesn't even have to be a family member, okay? But knowing that someone cares about you. Depression will lie to you. It also lies to children and teens. Depression says things like nobody cares about you, you're not good enough, you're ugly, you're stupid, all these sorts of things. And let me tell you, when kids start to think those things, when kids start to think that the world is unsafe, which if you were scared during the pandemic, I know I was, with all of the uncertainty, right, that was happening. Imagine what it's like for these little kids. Imagine what it's like for these teenagers. It is hard to process everything on top of whatever personal things they had going on anyway. It's a lot for them to think about. And going throughout this year, I'm going to be giving you all a lot more resources, and I can quote you the research and all that sort of thing. throughout the year when we talk about children's mental health, the first Tuesday of every month. But today, starting off this year, I really want this to be, just for this one, to be more heart-centered, for you to think about, how can I show this child compassion? How can I show this child kindness? How can I connect with this child however I can? I promise you all, sometimes it's just the little things that you can do to help kids. It goes a long way. I've had a lot of conversations for a long amount of time. Man, I think, gosh, I started graduate school back in 2001, and I saw my first patient in 2003 when I was in graduate school. So it's been a minute, y'all. I know. It feels like yesterday. It's been a while. But I've spoken to so many kids, and I can tell you, it's the little things sometimes that is so impactful for them. It's the teachers that are impactful for them. It's the coaches that are impactful for them. It's the individuals. It could be in their place of worship. Like I said, it doesn't even have to be family. It could be, but it doesn't even have to be. It's those people in their lives that are changing lives. And if you have the opportunity in your community to change a life in any way, there's Big Brothers, Big Sisters. There's so many organizations. I can go on and on. If you need some, let me know. Send me a direct message. I have plenty of organizations if you want to get involved. But there's so many ways for you. Again, like I said, it could be someone close to you that you know personally. It could be someone in the community when it comes to kids, but they desperately right now need your help to really move forward with their own mental health. So I, again, encourage you just to think about the humanity of it all, and how we can really think about reaching youth, because they are struggling right now. Like, it is heartbreaking to me to read the articles that I read about kids, and to see the hospitalizations for mental health for kids. And there's so much loss, there's so much pain. But again, I'm not asking you all to be counselors here, but I'm asking you all to be human beings, and to really know that you absolutely can have an impact, and really think about connecting with these kids, whoever it is for you in your life. And while I'm on the topic of compassion and kindness, I want to refer to you all, for those of you who are readers. Some of you, if you're not, it's all good. I got more resources coming for you, but I want to refer a resource if you haven't read it already. It's called The Book of Joy. And I should put it in this chat here. I'm on my phone today, so I'd have to figure that one out. But I'm going to just tell you, so I don't accidentally end the live. But it's called The Book of Joy, and it's by the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And I just started reading it. Actually, I'm like a third of the way through it, and it is so powerful. And it talks about, it's not specifically related to children's mental health, but as a whole, just how we can really connect with other people, and again, showing that compassion and showing that kindness. So I want to encourage you, again, when we're thinking about our kids, and not, like I said, it doesn't even have to be your own kid, but other children who are around you, to make sure that they're okay, and to make sure that we're setting them up to thrive, which is really, really important. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. Yeah, someone said they need us to show them love more than ever. They really, really do. And please understand. So this is part one. This could be like, I need to do a series on this, I feel like, but that's part one, right? For you to show the compassion, and you show the kindness, and you make sure that they understand those things, because the reality is, the sad thing is, but it's true, there are elementary schoolers, you remember what you were like in elementary schoolers who are thinking about taking their lives. And it's sad. You're 8, 9, 10 years old. That shouldn't be what you're thinking about. So we have to not only help the children that we're around, but we have to teach them the compassion, and teach them the empathy, and teach them how to be kind to other people, because the reality is, there's going to be preteens and teenagers out there too, who their friends are going to come to them. Some of these teens, listen, they're not trying to talk to adults right now, but they'll talk to their peers. So if their peer knows and understands how to be compassionate, what to do if someone comes to them with some type of trauma, what to do if someone comes to them and say, I want to hurt myself, and those types of things. When they're trained in that way, when they know how to respond, they are literally saving someone else's life. And I know it sounds like a lot for a 12-year-old to be in that situation, or a 14-year-old to be in that situation, but this is where we're at. Like, let's just be real for a moment. This is where we're at with some kids. So it's a lot. I know, but it's so important that we're teaching kids what they need to be doing to help themselves, but also to help other kids and teens around them. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. Yes, it is. Someone said it's such a tender age. It really is. And middle school is so difficult. I feel like, well, if I had to think about it in my career, I think I've seen a lot of sixth graders, which is the beginning of middle school here where well, not where I'm at right now today, but where I live in Florida. And it's just hard. It's difficult. But even the little ones, the middle schoolers, the high schoolers at a lot of different levels, it is difficult right now. They have a lot on their plates. This is a lot to process. There's new variants coming out of this whole COVID situation. There's a lot to think about. And especially for the kids that were already predisposed to being more depressed or being more anxious, this is a very difficult time for them. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. So again, being the compassionate person, or finding ways to connect with them on some level, and also making sure to be supportive of the people that are in their lives. Because like I said, you may not have any kids, and that's okay. But you may be teaching kids, or you may have a neighbor, or you may have a friend with a kid. Being supportive to those people who are in their lives, that counts as well. I would highly recommend that, actually, because a lot of caregivers are stressed out right now and burned out with a lot of things that have happened with the education system, with mental health. It's a lot. So being supportive of them. And then the last thing that I want to leave you with is just remembering that a lot of kids need resources as well. So when you find reputable, I always say there's a lot of stuff out there, unfortunately, on Google that's very false, but reputable information about mental health that can help a child, feel free to share it. Share it with that family that you know of. If you know of a really good counselor in your area, help someone, get, and if you don't know of a counselor, that's okay. I always tell you all, you can always reach out to me through my website, through social media. I'm on every social media platform. I'm always here to answer your questions. If you send me a direct message, or you need a resource or referral, if you need that as well, please feel free to reach out, but make sure that you're connecting people as well with these resources if you know about them, because having the information but not sharing it is not going to help children, right? We have to be able to share these resources. You hear of something great that's helpful for kids, and you know of a family that needs that, share that information with them. And thank you for those who are still starting to join here and reading that. And someone said, yes, I see the trauma all the time. There's a lot. We probably need to do a series on trauma, actually, on Mental Health Moment coming up, because there's a lot. There's a lot of levels when it comes to trauma. But thank you all so much for joining here today. So remember those things again: the compassion, the kindness. The connection. It goes very far. It means a lot more to kids than you even know. Sometimes I'm still surprised, and I am 2 decades in, Lord. Okay. 2 decades into my career here, and just hearing so many stories, I'm still surprised sometimes. I'm amazed and impressed, actually, by kids and the things that they say, and how much they're touched and their lives are changed by people that they felt really cared about them. Like, if I could write like one page, like a quick, like, what saves kids, I know there's a lot out there, but the connection and then feeling like somebody loves them and cares about them is really powerful, you all. It really, really is. I'm telling you again, I'm not telling you the textbook stuff. I'm telling you what I've heard for 2 decades, which makes me feel real old, but that's okay. But it's very real. So I just want to remind you of that today when we talk about the kids, which you all know is a passion of mine, children's mental health. So I want to remind you of that, And if you need me at any time, feel free to reach out, drnikishahammond.com. I'm just reading what someone was saying. I would never let my future kids face the same trauma, just like when I was a kid. There's a lot, and actually we'll definitely be continuing this conversation about trauma because there's a lot of layers to that. And thank you all for bringing up those examples, and thank you all for sharing in the comments here. I'm, like I said, I'm on my phone today, so it's harder to read all of them, but I see someone else too even sharing like a book recommendation in the chat, and that's what it takes. Like this, I am honored to do mental health moment, but as a community, that is what is going to be helping kids. So I see someone already doing, if you have a book recommendation, if you have a resource, please be sure to always, you can feel free to share it on mental health moment, as long as it's reputable, please. Reputable information, because that's something that could be saving someone's life and helping a child and helping families out there, because it's a lot. There's a lot going on. But again, thank you all so much for joining. I'll be back next Tuesday right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page and LinkedIn Live and YouTube Live Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be well. Please be sure, as I mentioned, just to make sure you're connecting, especially with kids. They need us right now. They desperately need us. There's a lot happening. And take care of yourselves. And I will see you all next week. Bye, y'all.